Hello. In the Crown of Aragon 639 years ago, it was May 5th, 1387. My name is Jonathan Seyfried. I'm a PhD candidate in history at the University of New Mexico, and this is the Historian's Notebook, a podcast about how history gets made. Season 1 is titled Molt Cara Companiona. We're looking at a document from each day of the first year of the reign of King Joan I of Aragon and Queen Violant de Bar. Let's begin today's document. The OpenClaw pipeline output for yesterday's document was just terrible. It was so bad. But what I will say is that for today's document, what was generated was extremely helpful. I think I would have encountered this document anyway because I was looking at one from this register just on the previous folio a few episodes ago. So I would have found this document, I think, but the transcription of this and then the subsequent translation that was done care of OpenClaw's agentic behavior routine, it was really helpful in a lot of ways. And this particular document is one that is very informative about how Violant sees this whole episode after a few days have passed. Violant writes in this letter, and it's again to the ambassadors of the Crown of Aragon in Avignon. And this is what OpenClaw generated, I should say Claude, through the OpenClaw process, generated as an English translation for the middle point of the letter. And here it is. And so that from the great displeasure that you have had regarding the grave illness of the Lord King, who has certainly come to the point of death without any hope of life, and was already given up by the physicians, you may receive comfort and rejoice in our Lord God, who through his infinite clemency has deigned to work mercifully upon the said Lord King, to him and to us as a singular grace. We make known to you that although he was at the hour of something on the 8th day, the king improved. I'm just paraphrasing now because it's not really making sense grammatically what the English has been generated here. So the translation that I got through the OpenClaw process is rough, but what it alerted me to was this phrase that's in the middle of the letter. It's on line 11. It's a phrase, article de la mort. And I was really interested in this word article because it is a cognate. So I put it into Dictionary Català Valencia Balear, and I found that for the first several definitions, the word article, article, is used pretty much how it's used in English. So it can be like a chapter in something, it can like a description for term of writing. It can also be like used for a grammatical sense, like the definite article or the indefinite article. But then it was like definition number 7, where it was this phrase. And actually, the work that was cited was Tirant le Blanc, and that is a medieval epic poem from, oh gosh, what's the exact date? It's like from before this exact time period, like maybe it's like the 13th century. Oh, I'm messing that up, I know it. But anyway, that was the source for this phrase, article de la mort. And then in the definition, the dictionary says that it's really, the word article is only used in this way for this expression when it's combined with mort, which is death. And it means the moment of death. So, look, this line in the letter, Violant, starts with Cert es vengut al article de la mort. Cert, certain. It was certain that he had come to the moment of death. It was really close. I mean, as if we hadn't picked that up from the letter that she had said before. But then we have another interesting detail about the doctors. The doctors, los meches, they were not discussed in the other document, if I'm remembering that correctly. But here it says a couple times that the doctors had given up. So the doctors had said to her that there was no hope. And at that moment, it's not, we can kind of think back to what Violant had written on, oh gosh, I can't remember which exact date it was, but she was relating the play-by-play of what had happened on the evening of April 28th. And then she says that, you know, they called in the priests and Joan was given last rites. And so this letter gives us another angle on the events of the evening of April 28th and really confirms to us that it was miraculous that Joan had pulled through, that it really was like, you know, almost a sure thing in the minds of the people there that he was not going to make it. So it's just giving us another angle on that event by mentioning the doctors in particular. Something I want to point out about this particular letter is that the last line, the dating clause, actually has something very specific in it before the date of May 5th. Violant has written for the dating clause, which actually starts the second full line from the bottom. Dada en Barcinone sots nostra segel secret dimenge ora de Vespers. And then the 5th of May of the year 1387. So Violant has added a specific time of day and the name of the day of the week before saying May 5th. Dimenge is Sunday. Ora de Vespers is basically saying sunset, the hour of Vespers. So we have here a statement about the day of the week that does corroborate what Daniel Girona y Llagostera has as the day of Sunday in his itinerary for the reign of Joan. There's another document that is labeled as Tuesday when it doesn't seem like it could have been a Tuesday. And so here at least we've got a document that is labeled Sunday when it and it matches what Daniel Girona y Llagostera has identified as the day of the week, Sunday. So we have a match for the day of the week. All right. Let's see. Is there anything else that I need to say about this? The probata, I'm trying to track the probatas a little bit more closely. Here we have Bartolomeo Sirvent again. And it starts out pretty normal, where he's just saying that the queen has commanded him. But then there's this addition, the second half of the probata, per hac me Castellani. And then we've got something like, on the third line, mille. After mille, we've got consil e camerlengum. So, okay, I think, it could be milite. So, like, could be saying knight, council, and chamberlain. So, hac me Castellani has been involved in the creation of this document somehow. And it's not clear to me how. The role of Bartolomeo Sirvent is very clear to me, but I am not quite sure what role the knight, counselor, and chamberlain hac me Capellani has had in the creation of this document. But I'm working on it. It's definitely, I've got a nice, helpful book that I obtained through interlibrary loan that gives me a little bit more information about the probata statements. And so this month, I'm going to really add in a lot more info into the podcast about the probata statement. All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Historian's Notebook, Season 1, Molt Cara Compagnona. If you are leaving with more questions than you arrived with, I've done my job. Remember, the motto of The Historian's Notebook is dissatisfaction guaranteed. Visit the website to see an image of today's document and additional show notes, and listen again tomorrow to hear about the next day in the first year of the reign of King Joan I of Aragon and Queen Violant de Bar. In the meantime, take care.